Thank you everyone for staying with us. You're watching us on CNN News 18 and I'm Shivani Gupta. It's my pleasure to have the legend himself, Muttiah Muralitharan, and also the real version of Muralitharan, Madhur Mittal, who's joining us. Of course, the cast and crew and the inspiration behind the new movie 800. Many thanks, gentlemen, for speaking to CNN News 18.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Great to be here.
Murli sir, let me begin with you. It's never easy to get your story out because I feel a lot of people are very worried. People like you who have been in the public eye their entire career of how their story will be represented. So, could you give me a sense of why you decided that you were okay with a movie on you, and how was the process like for you?
Yeah, it's a long story, so how I agreed, but I cut it short. See, Venkat Prabhu from Chennai is a director from Tamil Nadu. So he has taken a lot of cricket movie. One Chennai 28. He loves cricket. So he's childhood friend of my wife. So he visited my foundation in 2018. So they knew that I'm also involved in foundation. So he wanted to visit my house. So he visited my house in 2018. So with Sripati and two other friends. So they want to do something good for Sri Lanka because we have huge foundation and we do a lot of work with in the last 20 years. We've been there. So got to know and came there. So I thought at the time only in the house he asked me whether he want to do my biopic. So I was not really, I was little shy and little reluctant to accept it. So then my manager was there, is Pushim Kunasekara, who said that please agree on that. He convinced me because they can support me, our foundation more through this film. So I agreed. That's why it started, and so I. It's a long story because it is went for 5 years. So much obstacles, like my life as well. The film came, so many obstacles go through, and then finally we are here to release on 6th of October.
Yes, but were you worried that your story will not be in your control, or maybe it will present something in a manner that you are not comfortable with, or you were very comfortable with the people you were working with and very much in
Yeah,
control?
one thing I asked because Sripati was researching the story for 1.5 years. Then Venkat Prabhu had something problem with the some issues, and then he left.
Yes.
Then I told Sripati to direct it because he's 2 years he researched in Sri Lanka and went everywhere and everything. And I wanted him to want it has to be very true because it's a biopic because you can't have friction and everything in that and make it nicer and nicer something. See who I am, you have to think it, and what happened in my life, it's a true story has to be. So I insist that that's the only thing I needed in the film. You have all the freedom to do the story whatever you want, but it has to be true. So
Don't add mirch masala to it.
no masala at all because my life is like whatever you see. My life is something different than anyone else because even if you write a friction story, you won't get the story like this. So it has whatever happened, everything has happened in my life. So I read the script about 4 5 times, make sure that everything is true. So I'm happy. So then I said, gave the permission to go ahead.
Mother, it's never easy to play a real life character, but to play a living
Right.
legend is even harder. So,
Right.
for you, I mean, it must be a privilege to play a role like this in such a movie. It's a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. But were you nervous
Right.
at all?
Oh, 100%. I was extremely nervous when I was locked for the film. Like you said, it's a privilege, it's an honor, it's a challenge. It's a lot of things rolled into one. And I was as excited as I was nervous because sir is going to watch the film, his family is going to see it. Obviously, you don't want to disappoint them or the audience. So I was a little nervous, and I have to give credit to Sir, which he doesn't like to take. But when the first time I went to meet Sir in Chennai, just for a day, really quick meeting, and I was blabbering in front of Sir, and I think Sir sensed that this guy is nervous, so he just put me at ease. He said, "Don't be nervous. Don't just end up trying to mimic me, and do your best, and try to enjoy, so it took a lot of that pressure off of me. And I was blessed with the most incredible crew and support team around me, including my direction team, the makeup team, the cricket coach who taught me how to bowl, like so.
Exactly.
So I was blessed with, because it takes a village to do something like this, right? And I was blessed with the most amazing team, and so yeah, hopefully, we've worked really hard, and I hope people like our really honest attempt at bringing to life Sir's incredible story.
So I want to ask both of you this. I mean, it's one thing to play a real life character, but it's always very different if you're playing an athlete, because mimicking someone's mannerisms is still one thing, but mimicking someone's sports action, and that too an action as legendary and as iconic as Muttiah Muralitharan's action, cannot be easy. So how did that happen? If both of you can tell us, Muttiah sir, you want to go first, because you must have been also very worried. How is this guy who's never bowled is going to bowl like me?
I was not worried at all in this film because I gave the rights to the director. That is your baby. So you have to take it, because I am not going to do anything much, because I'm not going to interfere anything, because they have to get it right, everything, because that is director and the actor, whoever everybody involved in their thing. So what happened, actually, I didn't met Madhur only for when they said he's been selected as a cast of mine. I was in Chennai at the time. The IPL auction was, we were discussing with the Sunrisers, because I was in Leela. So then Sripati brought him to Leela, and I met him briefly. He was saying that we had a coffee, and whatever he was saying, it was true. That's all. It's half an hour. Then I met him in Kandy, because I went to my parents' house when they having the set was put it and they were shooting. So then I saw him, and then after that, when I was in the trailer launch with when Sachin was launching and with Sanat Jayasuriya, then I met him. So briefly, even I didn't have one call at the time. I have his number, but I didn't want to be. I think, as a professional, as a cricketer, too many people say things, then it all
Yeah.
become like a soup, like, it doesn't mean. So give them a opportunity, give them a chance, and it. So coming back to action of my bowling, because nobody can imitate, because it is impossible thing. When Sripati was saying the actor has to do, good luck to you, good luck to him, I said, because because it is not possible, very difficult. But whatever said and done, this is the destiny, because Vijay Sethupathi is supposed to add this. Then we asked some other heroes, they didn't have dates, and like that. Then suddenly it came to Madhur, and Madhur accepted, because why he could admit it, because he trained hard also with a bowling coach. Whatever said and done, because he had an accident 8 years ago. He told me, we all didn't know this, because even now only he told me also after doing the thing. So when he accidentally, right arm is about bent now, because it is bent like mine. So when you're doing the action, automatically the bent arm will
The
come.
same.
So it helped him a
Yeah.
lot. So that's why he could have, I could say, his action, he has done it like, about 70% of mine, right? So action, right? Then
That's
when
good,
you,
no?
yeah, 70%. I
70%
can.
is good.
Yeah.
You see the trailer. I saw the trailer, because I
Yeah.
didn't see the movie. I saw it. It was impressive, because the action, right? But is like, with the beard looks, they made it like 70%. Without the beard, little bit of 60%, like I could say. And if you ask him, bowl like me, that will be zero.
Well, you can imitate
I,
the
I I
accent, but
second
you
that.
can't quite hit the ball where Muttiah
I mean, I
Muralitharan
don't
did.
think I don't think anyone can bowl like Sir. So I will take that on the chin. I mean, if I could, then I would be out
I've
there
been
taking a
honest,
bunch
right?
of
I'm
wickets.
not joking. I'm not being honest. This.
No, Sir is extremely brutally honest, and I really appreciate it. That's a part of his character that I've tried to really show in the film as well. And like Sir said, I had a really bad car crash around 8 years ago, in which I really smashed up my elbow. So there's a bunch of metal in there, and I haven't gotten it fixed yet. And I've been, funnily enough, I had been thinking every year that okay, maybe this year I'll get it fixed, but I would get a project and then I wouldn't be able to do it. And like sir said, some things are destiny. So I think I was just meant to do this project, and my arm really has helped me sort of mimic sir's action as much as possible. And also the credit for that goes to my cricket coach Vicky Bai, who Vikrant Gupta's name is. He's the head coach for Rohit Sharma's academy, and himself an off spinner. So I was filming something else at the time, and after my shoot, every night I would go and practice it in 3 hours,
So
trying to get as close as possible.
how long did it take you to get it right, or
I
60% right?
Yeah, right. So I was, I think, maybe 3 months, 2 to 3 months, but not continuously because I had gone abroad to film as well in the middle of that time. So in the little time that I had, because I didn't have the luxury like other actors who've done biopics, got to shadow the person they were playing for like 3 months, 4 months, live with them and stuff, and I didn't have that. So I had to depend heavily on my director's approval, and that's what really was my guiding light throughout the film. Is if my director thought that yes, you're doing a good enough job, then I sort of calm myself because I'm very self-critical. So I keep, for me, it's never good enough. So as long as my director was happy, I was like, all right, as long as he's happy, because he has been, with Sir in Sri Lanka for almost 2 years, researching about the film and about Sir. He found out things about Sir that even Sir was not aware of himself. So that was my sort of meter as to how well or how badly I was doing.
Muttiah ji, tell me one thing. You said this movie has obviously seen its fair share of troubles and delays, and even COVID came in between. So tell me one thing. Was it easier to be a cricketer or somebody who has a biopic being made into a film? Because it seems like, this was equally challenging.
See, it was difficult to be a cricketer as well because my life in cricket also so many hiccups and everything.
Yes.
But for me, easier thing is bowling, right? That is my 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 thing, right? So other than that, the movie also see because uh, it was emulation. No, we see somebody wants to take your biopic, right? First, I didn't want to. Then they all move away from that, right? Then Vijay Sadibi Sega because he wants to really do it this one, but unfortunately, that also fault. Then after that, COVID. Then everything set. They went to Sri Lanka. When you're shooting, 2 days time, financial crisis. So
Yes.
somehow the help of the Sri Lankan police and then the everybody. So somehow they made it, and also the credit goes to the director and the actors, whoever the acting from India, all the technicians. So they were all scared because it's burning some places, right? In Colombo. So
Yeah.
still they had the guts to do it and finish it. See, always there is something like when you against you come up with the goods. So hopefully in my life all the odds were against me, but I achieved and was something that someone unbelievably have achieved something. So like that, this movie maybe it could also achieve unbelievable things. We don't know until the people like
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. You faced so many odds and challenges, and it was almost mirrored in making of this film. I think Madhur has a flight
Absolutely.
to catch, so I'm going to let you go before I continue the
Thank you so
chat with
much.
Muralitharan sir.
Yeah, please
But
do. It was great talking to you, and thank you for having me on the show.
all right, Madhur, we don't
All
want you
right.
to be late, so thank you for
All
joining
right.
us.
Thank
But
you so
Muttiah sir,
much.
I have more questions for you. I want to understand from you. You've mentioned that you wanted to set certain things right or dispel certain misconceptions about you or your career. So, what are those things that this movie deals with that you wanted the right picture to be given out to the public?
See, the only thing is cricket-wise, nothing to said because everything has to proven. I proven publicly and everything everybody knows, right? But as an individual, I am coming from a minority community. So we are forefathers are from India. See, in Sri Lanka, it's so different. Like because when it comes to people live there, because you see, everyone come from India in one stage thousands of years ago. That is the history says because even uh, the Buddhism, it went from Buddha Gaya. right? It's went to taken by King Ashok, I think, right? Like to Sri Lanka, taken the Buddhism to that. Same way, thousands of years from south, the kings were dominating Sri Lanka, so that spreaded their Tamil in north and east. Then Britishers came, right? And for tea plantations, my grandfather went 1920s. So we all come from India, part of India, and now it's civilization of Sri Lanka. But there are so many differences between everyone. So everywhere it is there. Even take India also, so many says so many things like that in Sri Lanka. So the civil war started, and it is so disturbing for everyone in this, because 40 years of war. That's the time I was born, and the peak of the time my career was there. So it is like, I'm a born Tamil, right? I'm a Sri Lankan. That nobody can change. I'm a Hindu. Nobody can change that, because you don't portray things going. I'm a Tamil. I'm a
Yes,
Tamil. Like, I'm a Hindu. But you portrayed I'm a Sri Lankan, because it's a country, because nation, because that's what everything given to you, right? So I always say I'm a Sri Lankan first. Then it's a race and the thing. So when I came to public eye, as a cricketer, because 95, what happened, and Darala's incident in 95, then Arjuna, like a father figure, he protected me, and the team, whole team, like Aravinda too, whole team protected me, and whole country. I was Tamil at 21 years old, right? I'm a war is peak at the time, right? Civil war. So whole country didn't think as a mere Tamil, Sinhalese or Muslims or anybody. They backed me. That immense power gave me to overcome all my hurdles at 1995. So they were so much to. So that's why I started in 99. These people, everyone helped me. Even they were going in troubles, because civil war was so bad, and everyone has had a lot of problems. So still they backed as a cricketer in 95. When the problem came, everyone got together as a nation, as a Sri Lankan, they supported me. So in 98, I formed a foundation of goodness with my manager and friend, one of my friend, Ashan Malasekara. So this foundation is another 23 years. That's why the Venkat Prabhu went to there, and that's why the film also came. So I want to see, so all country help, how can I help them, needy people? So we did so much through the foundation. So when it comes to identity, right, I became very popular, everyone want piece of me, right?
yes,
So I am common to everyone. So I took a stand. I'm a cricketer. I'm a Sri Lankan. I didn't think any race. So that's the thing people want. Say, I didn't stand for this race. I didn't stand for this. That is, I want to set it right. I'm a Sri Lankan. I'm a cricketer. Then only my race, my religion, right? So that is how I want to be portrayed. But some people say, because I didn't give, how can I, as common man, as a cricketer, popular person, a political decision, how can I give my word? Whatever I say, it will happen? No. Okay, politically, they have to sort it out. I can't, because people can't think, because I am saying this has to happen, because I as loved as a cricketer, not as a politician. So I can't
right.
make decisions for people, because I am a common man, a common person. I loved because I played cricket in a highest level, and a popular person. That's why people love me. So I take that stand. So those are the things you have to say in the film will come, how things are happening, this, how went through. See, basically in this film is like this, uh, how my family traveled through my career, how I traveled, and in the cricket field, and personally, and also our country in this period travel. This all will come into cricket. Will be major events will come 20% of the film, but
But it's about
oh,
you as a person.
me as a person, and also how did
Yes.
I do that inside, what happened, nobody knows the story. When he came 1995, They all knew in the pitch what happened. Then beyond that, nobody knows what's
Nobody.
the story, how it started, how it's resolved. So like that. So when the civil war, how it started, everyone know it have affected. How it started, how we get as a family affected. So that's what the unknown story about this, because it is, even if you write a script, friction, you won't get a story like this, because it has, what has to happen is, it not only about sad part, enjoyment also. I had got great time when I'm alive. I'm not saying I was only affected emotion. No, I had great time. I had great success. Great, even though these sad moments, I had good times. So all this want to be in the movie. That's what they had taken, because this I didn't want it, but director Venkat Prabhu wanted, so we gave it.
No, absolutely. I think it would be a great watch for public because we've seen you as a cricketer and your career, but it would be nice to know the hardships you have faced or the good and the bad times you've had behind the stage, which has not been in public domain. But speaking of the stage, your movie is also releasing during the World Cup. You couldn't have chosen for a better perfect timing because the World Cup is coming and it's happening in India. I do want to ask you, you played, not only are you an iconic player yourself, but you played in a very iconic Sri Lankan team. But that Sri Lankan team doesn't seem to be doing that well now. What do you make of their chances as far as the World Cup is concerned?
So we didn't choose this. This is a coincidence to have, because when you come to a film, sense has to be right, everything has to be right. It's a timing. So timing was good, because cricket fever fans, they might glimpse of that and glimpse of the film. It will work sometimes, right? So, about talking about Sri Lanka, yeah, because how it started, Sri Lanka is 90s when Arjuna took over. He had an attitude, that he gave that younger version of me, Vas, Pramod there, then Maila joined, Sangakara, Dilshan, so many youngsters. He brought him into the scene, and made them, that believe them, like, we can win, right? We are not, we are a small country, but in a game we are good enough to beat the bigger people. That's what it didn't start in 96, it started in 1991, 92, right? Then all we start winning test matches, tournaments, slowly, and that built into 96. So that's what a team like Co. So this 96 team gave the belief, hope of whole nation. We can be a small nation. We can be champions as well. That's what 96 World Cup gave everything, because before that it's an amateur game, and everyone have to work. See, even we all worked in a insurance company or bank or whatever. They give duty leave, like, you can have. So like that only played. Then after 96, and also I have to mention, to thank to Mr. Dalmaya, because first time ever TV rights came. Then you used to pay for the TV companies to show the match. Then tables turns the other side. Then money flow into the thing. So one you the professionalism came. Then I could say 2 decades we dominated cricket. See, Australia was number one team, but that decade, because it's unbelievable side, because, and then we were par little bit next to second or third. We were there because we were no joke, because we had created a lot of legends, and all the
Absolutely.
people who have got 8,000 runs, 10,000 runs, 14,000 runs, 800 wickets, 400 wickets, 500, like, so people who are, so this as went to like 2015, right? Then last badges, Kumar Sangakkara, Maila Jayawardena, and Dilshan. Once they literally retired, it came the downfall of our country, because I don't know why, the reason I couldn't find. Because when we started playing, there's no facilities, there's no money, it's a passion, everything. So in 2015, when they started, these youngsters, they had everything, money, facilities, grounds, everything. But I don't know why we couldn't blossom, or other people, other countries became better than us. So we don't know, right? So no answers. but looking like glimpse of last 2 years, like one
Hmm.
winning the 2020 Asia Cup,
Hmm.
some drop has come, and then
Hmm.
coming to the finals of the Asia Cup and beating all the qualifiers. So
Hmm.
something this team has, but if they believe to now to the World Cup, so there is some belief can be a dark horse to something can achieve. It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be difficult, but you believe that they can do something, that belief is coming back. But
Yeah,
speaking of the World
because
Cup,
they won Asia Cup. Winning Asia Cup is not a joke because in a 2020
hmm,
format, but begin winning by India, one of the best sides in the World Cup, right? They are the odd favorites, and the
hmm,
Pakistan is not easy side. Then also
hmm,
Bangladesh and Afghanistan, they are not
hmm.
their caliber of players can beat anytime. So beating them and coming something tells me that they can also do something.
Okay, good. But who is your who is Muttiah Muralitharan going to bet on? Who is your favorite to lift
See,
the title? Is it or
always I will bet on Sri Lanka, right? Because I can't bet on anyone because the belief, heart, everything in the country. But
yeah.
if you're taking into a current form and current situation, India
Hmm.
is the team that to beat because the reason is one is they are very good. See the side that the caliber of bowlers, spinners, and then batsmen, young batsmen, they got the cream. And then uh, other thing is the conditions. They
Hmm.
know every day they play and play out, yeah,
Yeah.
so they know the conditions and the pitches. And then the crowd, see, you go to Indian stadium, 50,000. I can remember when I playing the 2011 World Cup, there was
Hmm.
about 20 Sri Lankan flags and other 30,000 is Lanka. The morale booster always going to be in the players when I play in Sri Lanka. The crowd,
Hmm.
that flag that flows, and that gives you a little bit morale boost to your cricketers, because
Yeah.
that is actually, somebody says no means that's lying, because that's also gives you a little bit of boost. So these are the factors. India can be a favorite, but I always believe to win a World Cup, there has to be a
Hmm.
lot of luck because it has to go away. So if you can see last World Cup, England
Hmm.
versus New Zealand, everyone thought New Zealand was
Yes.
edged. The luck so much went to England side and won it.
Yes.
So uh, it's hot favorite can be every day, can't be winners, but if everything goes their way,
Hmm.
definitely India has a chance.
Okay, Muttiah Muralitharan, I want to ask you a final question since we are talking about the World Cup. What is your best favorite memory in a World Cup or just generally in your career?
See, that is that is the easiest answer you ask. You should ask something else because 96 World Cup give everything to our players and country. So I would
Yeah,
like to ask different one rather than, because that is a easy every time. That is my favorite thing rather than anything else.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
can
I
ask
thought
another
you
one,
would say as much.
something. Yeah,
Okay, so then let me ask you a different question, and hopefully
yeah,
this will be tougher.
yeah.
What has been the most challenging moment of your career? And is that challenging moment in the movie 800 as well?
Challenging moment is for me is I would say when I got called in 1995 in the Boxing Day, I never
Hmm.
expected, and it was
Hmm.
shocking. And
Hmm.
I am a person never cries, right? Okay, so tears just flowed when you are in the dressing room, because I don't know what to do, because Arjuna at the time came and calmed down me and say, you do what you want, we will handle the things. That's put me a little bit ease, but there is thousands of questions in my mind running at the time in the dressing room. I was alone and everyone coming and trying to say things, but it doesn't going into my mind. So it is
Hmm.
like what I'm going to happen next, because don't know, one person said I'm not legitimately bowling, so it is the end, or it is what we going to do. So the questions, thousands of questions running in mind, was the challenging moment. And then in this 800 movie, I could say my identity, because people always question my identity. So that will give some relief to in this movie, people who see my identity, because I believed always as a human being, right? Because why we have a lot of races, lot of religion, lot of things. So why we are all humans, right? So we have to be like, brothers and sisters, think like that, rather than thinking these from the other race and hate them or love them because of my race or so. That was so painful in my life, because it is for me. I lived in a hostel till age of 6 to 18. So in that hostel we have 60 to 70 people in a dormitory. In the dormitory we like brothers, because we fight, we can do anything, because 18 years we were to be together. And then there is Muslims, there is Catholics, there is Hindus, everyone. So we all fight not for the race or religion or anything, we fight for other reasons. So those are these. So I always felt the world was like that. It was not that outside my hostel life. It was so different, so different. So I couldn't understand. So that is what a painful thing, that identity, because if this movie can teach some lesson to this world and be one rather than thinking about races, I'll be most happiest man.
All right. That's a brilliant message, and we hope the movie delivers that. Many congratulations. The movie is finally a reality. It is going to hit theaters soon. Many congratulations and all the very best.
Thank you very much. Nice speaking to you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.